Easter is Jesus' story. It's also Mary Magdalene's story, and it's Judas's story. And today we're going to spend time looking at Judas. Now, Judas has been caricatured into the most evil of creations that are in the Bible. And some people might think that's a completely fair thing. Others depends on what you read. In Mark, which is the gospel that we're looking at this year, we don't really hear much about Judas. The story is not expanded. We hear what he did, but we don't hear why he did it. We don't hear how he behaved afterwards. We don't have any redemption arc for him like we do in Matthew. We don't have anything additional about him the way we do in John. In Mark, it is four simple lines. In fact, he's only part of two of them. It's the betrayal of Jesus, seen as perhaps the nastiest, most evil, hateful thing leading up to Good Friday and what has happened. So today I encourage you to ponder Judas. How do you think you'd be? Where would you be with him as a character? If this was post Easter and you had to look at him right in the face, how would you respond to him? Would you be interested in hearing what he had to say? Pre-Easter, pre-Good Friday, what do you think he's going through? What's he missing, or what does he think he needs to do to make things right? So many questions about Judas, and to just simply turn him into a cartoon bad guy does not do him service, nor does it do the Holy Week story service. So today it's Judas. And I ask you again to find that person you are in first century Palestine. Dig into that a little bit. Who are you? Are you young and innocent? Are you older and wise? Are you a young adult with lots of energy? Are you an older adult that has just seen it all and not really interested? Who are you when you're in first century Palestine? How are you dressed? How are you made up? What job do you have? Are you a person of leisure that has servants, or do you have to do it all for yourself? Are you able to spend money freely, or are you counting every single denarii that you have? Who are you? And as you walk through the streets of Jerusalem, you see someone up ahead who's sneaking through the buildings. You're not really sure what that's about. Are they just trying to avoid the crowds, or are they trying not to be seen? They're looking around back and forth so that they don't really get caught. You notice for a little while, and then you forget about it again and move on. It's Passover after all. Going to the temple is part of what you do, so you're heading there again. The crowds are huge. Every day more and more people go into the city, and you're wondering how it can possibly hold everybody. But you push through the crowds in the temple. You push up the stairs. You see the Roman guards again have been expanded. You don't see the priests this time, though, when you're curious about that. When you walk into the temple, it is just crowded. You don't know how you're going to get through. So you skirt around the edges, trying to be unseen and not in anyone's way as you get closer and closer to the stairs up to the inner temple. And you hear in the distance some discussion, a conversation. It's behind a wall, so you're only hearing part of it. But you know that they're talking about the man, Jesus, who has caused so much of a stir already. And you know they're not happy. You can hear by their voices. You inch a little closer to the wall, and you listen. And you hear them trying to come up with ways to get rid of this person. Now, how do you react? Are you too young to understand? Are you too old to care? Are you interested in going to let Jesus people know? Are you feeling really put on the spot, like you could be in trouble if you let anyone know what you've heard? What do you do? Just close your eyes and envision that. What do you do with information that could mean saving someone's life or not? And they talk about how they can't do anything publicly because the mob will turn on them. The people seem to really like what Jesus is doing, and they do not want to set off all of these people who are coming in Jerusalem. They don't know if they come with weapons or not. They don't know what the plan is. They don't know if there's more outside the gates waiting to come. After all, the Messiah was promised to be a military leader. So far, that hasn't materialized, but the possibility is always there. The Romans obviously think it's going to come. So, what do you do with the information you have? You ponder this. You might act on it, you might not. But the day proceeds, and you go about your business at the temple, and you go about your business in town. And towards the end of the day, you notice this person who you saw sneaking in the morning, coming up quietly onto the temple steps after everybody has left. And he goes in to talk with the chief priests and the elders and the rabbis. And you can't help but be a little curious, so you inch closer, still in the shadows, so no one will know you're there. And you hear this person that you saw walking beside Jesus on the donkey, that you saw in the temple when he turned over tables, that you saw when he was walking around the community. You saw him, and you thought he was Jesus' best friend, just like the others who were close to him. But this person, this man, is going up and telling the rabbis, "You want him? I'll get him for you." And the rabbis are delighted. I mean, here it is. Their opportunity to get Jesus out of the way is presented to them. They didn't even have to go looking. It just comes right to them. And you stop and wonder and think, well, if he really wants Jesus out of the way, why is he going to the temple and not to the Romans? Because Pilate's in town. If he really wanted Jesus gone, he could have gone to the Roman authorities. They would have taken care of a potential zealot in no time. Why the priests? Why does he want to keep this within your religious tradition? It's a question you'll never have an answer to, but you still wonder. And you sneak out of the shadows yourself, go off your own way. You are left wondering what it was that made this man turn on Jesus. Why does he think getting some money is going to be enough for turning in a friend? Maybe he's scared too of what will happen to Jesus, and he thinks the priests are just going to keep him secure. After all, you heard the priests talk about getting rid of Jesus. This man probably didn't. So they don't necessarily share with him their plans that are much more destructive. What could possibly happen now? Because whatever does, it's not going to be good. And the tension rises, and the week progresses, and people are mulling, and something is going to happen. You just don't know where, you just don't know when, but it's going to happen.